and the beauty of her friendships.
Happy birthday, dear Haley.
She was a force to be reckoned with. She really was.
The ugliness of the world would cut her life short early Wednesday morning in the parking garage of the Retreat at Sawgrass apartment building. Sunrise police say 21-year-old Jackson Sagase stabbed the 27-year-old to death as she waited for a friend who'd gone inside.
And the usual suspects strike once again, except this time the victim is not an innocent teenager at a high school track meet. This time, the victim is an innocent woman, a beautiful woman, a hairstylist in Florida that was brutally unalived by a Karmelo Anthony type with a steak knife inside of a parking garage. Now, the area that this happened in is not considered a bad area. If anything, some people would consider this a good area. I've been in this area plenty of times where this crime happened. And a lot of people who live around there are shocked by this, but I'm not. Because one thing I've come to realize, and one thing that all of you should come to realize as well, is that you're not safe anywhere anymore these days, especially when you're around groups of people who would, let's just say, support Karmelo Anthony. So when you're around people who would support Karmelo Anthony, you got to keep your head on a swivel, because they are often violent people who have low impulse control that will act out violently at the drop of a dime. And this woman, she had, I guess she was with a friend. The friend was running inside of his apartment really quickly. She was waiting in the parking garage. She saw this guy lingering around and then noticed that he was coming towards her. She tried desperately to get into her car, to lock her car, to protect herself, but she wasn't quick enough. And I can't help but think, maybe, just maybe, if she identified the threat immediately once she saw it, maybe she would still be here today. But so many people are afraid to be honest when it comes to their instincts. You see someone that looks crazy, I don't care what color they are. You make sure you're protected. You see someone walking down the side of the street, you cross the street, right? These are survival instincts that a lot of people have ditched. They have thrown to the wind. Because in today's day and age, these survival instincts may be considered racist or bigoted or what have you. But at the end of the day, when you know one group of people commits more violent crimes than the other group of people, you have to act accordingly. No one has ever crossed the road because they see a old Chinese man walking down the street. Have you ever crossed the road scared that the Asians were going to mug you and steal your purse? No. Have you crossed the road because you're scared that other groups of people might do so? Probably. And if you haven't, maybe you should consider doing so next time. Because if Haley was more aware of her surroundings, more aware of the threats that people, like the person who killed her, pose, then maybe she would still be here today. And that's not me blaming her for what happened at all. I'm just saying that at some point, if nothing's going to be done about all of these violent crimes, at the very least, people need to be aware of what's going on. And you need to take the proper precautions to protect yourself. Now, the man who killed Haley, here's his mugshot right here. Supposedly, this guy is 21 years old. Now, I'm not trying to be mean. I've lived a hard life myself. I've dealt with a lot of stress. I know that stress can just add the years on you. But when I saw this mugshot, I thought this guy was like late 30s, mid 40s. This guy is 21 years old. And just, we don't know any motive. They're basically calling it a random attack. He just decides, hey, there goes this white lady, or what appears to be a white lady by herself in a parking garage. I'm going to grab my steak knife and I'm going to go over there and I'm going to take her life. And that's what he did. And now, this scumbag has the audacity to claim self-defense. I kid you not. This old, big, freaking... Let me not even take it there. This 21-year-old that looks like he's 45, huge guy, right? Sees what appears to be a white woman by herself minding her own business in a parking garage, and he decides, hey, I'm going to go over there and kill her and then claim self-defense. Now, why do you think he felt like he could do this and maybe get away with it? Why do you think he's claiming self-defense? What do you think was going through his mind? Could it be anything to do with Karmelo Anthony? Here we have this big, ignorant animal, a 21-year-old that looks like he's 50, mobbing around parking garages looking for white people to attack, and he claims self-defense after he literally went to the woman's car, unalived her inside of her car, and then even tried to steal her car unsuccessfully before going back to his apartment where his mom lives and just hanging around with the steak knife that he killed the woman with. And he wants the world to believe it's self-defense. I had to protect myself from this small little white woman. It's absolutely insane. But I told you that these people would be emboldened by the Karmelo Anthony case. And it appears that they have been. I want to go ahead and dive into this article really quickly. But first, if you guys support the channel, consider supporting the channel in one of many ways. You could support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, dropping a comment, becoming part of the conversation, sharing the video on social media, and if you want to take your support one step further, if you like that there's someone out here willing to spread this kind of news that everyone else is afraid to talk about, you could always donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. It is greatly appreciated. But let's go ahead and dive into this article. Florida hairstylist shanked to death in luxury apartment parking garage by knife-wielding brute. So they refuse to say the race of the killer. They just call him a brute. If it was a white person, they would be sure to let you know his race. A Florida hairstylist was stabbed to death inside a luxury apartment parking garage by a knife-wielding brute who boasted to cops that he killed someone and walked away. Haley Hosford had stepped out of a rental car at the retreat at Sawgrass Village in Sunrise, Florida, when she spotted an armed Jackson Sagasi begin to approach her just after 1:30 a.m. on May 28th. Hosford, age 27, attempted to escape by jumping back into the rear passenger side of the car, but the 280-pound thug allegedly ripped open the door, according to an arrest affidavit viewed by the Post. A physical altercation broke out between Hosford and Sagis, and the suspect was captured on security camera making a repeated stabbing motion into the vehicle, police said. You know, I want to pause right here. I just want to pause really quickly, because I hate the way that they word these articles when they're dealing with a murderer, a killer, or a criminal that just so happens to be black. The way they word these articles, it always just, it ticks me off. For one, when they say, oh, this 280-pound thug that allegedly killed Haley, it's not alleged. He admitted that he killed her. He's on video killing her. There is no reasonable doubt. There is no doubt at all. You don't have to say alleged when something is already proven. And I read enough articles to know that they don't use these words when it comes to other groups of people. But even if you're a black murderer that has admitted on body cam footage that you killed someone, even though there's video of you killing the person, it's always alleged. Or we don't know for sure. We gotta be technical. He hasn't been found guilty. It's alleged, y'all. No, screw that. And then they say, oh, well, he was caught on video. making stabbing motions. No, he was caught on video stabbing someone. But this is the type of stuff, he allegedly killed her, we don't know for sure. And yeah, he's on video making stabbing motions. No, he's on video taking this woman's life. These aren't stabbing motions. He's not walking around the parking garage doing this. No. He's literally taking a woman's life in the back seat of a rental car in the parking garage. But oh, it's all alleged and it's the stabbing motions. They do this purposely. So there could be maybe a seed of doubt planted, but I really think they do this purposely just to piss white people off. I think that's what a lot of this is about. I think that's why a lot of the reporting surrounding these type of crimes, that's why it's reported like this. Because the black community that supports these killers, they're not reading the news. They're not reading these articles. They're not writing these articles for them. No, they're writing these articles for people like me and people like you to get pissed off at. But let's go forward. Let's not forget, he was making stabbing motions in the parking garage. Lord. Sagis got out of the car and was then confronted by Hosford's male friend, who had returned from picking up some items from his apartment. The two men get into a physical violent confrontation before Sagis stabbed the man in the throat. The wounded victim managed to escape from the maniac and called the police. Sagis allegedly returned to the car and attempted to leave in the vehicle, but he failed to move it. He was then seen searching the area for evidence to collect before leaving the garage. And I want to pause right here once again. I'm tired of this, insanity. This guy's insane. He's crazy. I am sick and tired of this being used as an excuse. I'm not saying that the guy isn't a little crazy. But you ain't that crazy if you're looking around trying to collect evidence to hide before the police come. You're not that crazy if you are in the right state of mind to at least know, hey, I did something wrong, I did something illegal, let me get rid of the evidence. That right there lets me know that you're not insane. Maybe you did something crazy, but you're not all the way insane to the point that you have no control over your actions and you don't know what's going on. No, you know what you were doing. Because if you didn't know, you wouldn't hang around to collect evidence. And what I think we're seeing happen a lot here, I think we're seeing violent black criminals purposely target white people and white passing people, often Latinos, Asians. We're seeing them target everyone who's not black, right? And then when they get caught for these crimes, when they get caught pushing the Asian lady in front of the subway train, when they get caught stabbing the white kid at a school track meet, when they get caught jumping the Latino kid at the bus stop and stomping his head into the ground until his brain spilled out of his head, when they get caught doing these things, it's mental illness. We had no idea what was wrong with us in the moment. No. We can't keep using that excuse. I am so sick of it. But let's go forward. Police found Hosford, who was unresponsive inside the car. She had suffered multiple stab wounds to her neck and throat and was pronounced dead at 2:01 a.m. Hosford's friends suffered a puncture wound to the throat. Hosford owned her beauty salon in Fort Lauderdale and was a teacher and ambassador for a yoga and retreat company. She was remembered as a force to be reckoned with. I know she was a fighter. I believe she fought, and I believe she was scared, Hosford's friend says. Hosford's friend recalled the last message his best friend ever sent him. Her very last message to me was, I just wanted to tell you that the sun is shining. The sky is blue, the water is turquoise, and that I love you so much, and that you mean the world to me. And the very last thing she said, or that was the very last thing she said. She's not a Jane Doe, and I want the world to know her name and who she was. There's evil and there's good, and we lost the good. The good lost. Workers at the retreat recognized Sagis from the surveillance video and pointed police to his home at the complex he shared with his mother. Sagis was taken into custody by police wearing the same clothes as the suspect on the video. Detectives discovered blood smeared on the apartment's rear door and 2 missing knives from the knife block in the kitchen, matching the description of the suspected murder weapon. After his arrest, Sagis admitted to the brutal stabbings. I just killed someone and walked away, he told a police officer after his Miranda rights were read. Sagis, who gave inconsistent answers, claimed he was on the way to the gym when he noticed the car in the parking garage with its lights on. He said he attempted to call 911 about the vehicle, but he did not have his phone. So he returned to his apartment and allegedly grabbed a kitchen knife he used as personal protection. Sagis said he was murdering for self-defense, but failed to give an exact threat. Police charged him with premeditated murder and attempted first-degree murder. He is being held without bond at the Broward County Jail.
Portions of the arrest form are redacted, but police were able to find Sagasi inside his first-floor unit with a steak knife in his pocket. An alleged confession he made is also redacted, but police say the crime was caught on camera.
All right.
Sagase was supposed to appear in bond court Thursday morning. Instead, a judge examined his case without him.
Both of these will be no bonds.
So that surviving victim has not been identified. We're still working to find out who he is and how he's doing at this hour. Meanwhile, as for the motive behind this, police say that this seems to be a random attack. Very scary.
Don't worry, everyone. There was no motive for this crime. It's just a random attack. What could the motive even be? Isn't it crazy that all of these random attacks, always, like 99% of the time, these random attacks with no motive, the victims of these attacks are always white? And the attackers are always, well, not white? Isn't that weird? I mean, if this stuff was just happening at random with no motive, surely there would be all types of different demographics like affected, right? If there was no motive, if all of these attacks that we're seeing in America these days, if they were all just random, surely the victims, if you lined them all up, it would look like it was random, right? You just put a list of all of these victims and see their faces. Surely they would just come from all of these different diverse backgrounds, and surely the attackers would come from diverse backgrounds as well, right? But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Most of these random attacks with no motive, usually the targets are white people. Now, if I didn't know any better, I would start connecting dots. I would start noticing a pattern here, and I would come to the conclusion that maybe the motive is that these people aren't black. Maybe there is a racial motive. Maybe these are hate crimes. And you know, we were just talking about how, oh, it's always a mental illness this, mental illness that, you're crazy now. Isn't it weird how when these crazy people lose their minds, they always go and attack or kill like white kids and white women? Dudes too, but usually it's kids and women. Because if I was insane and I was just out here ready to kill anyone, I wouldn't discriminate, right? If I didn't have a motive, if there was no driving force inside of me, I would just pick any victim. It doesn't matter what they look like. But these crazy people who are often found not fit to stand trial, they always go straight for the white kid, straight for the white woman. Almost as if they have a certain target that they're after. Almost as if maybe there is a motive, a racial motive. Almost as if even when these people do lose their minds and they go completely insane, that hatred for white people doesn't leave their brain. They don't go and try to do this with black people. No, they go after the white people constantly. There are stories like this happening every single day around the clock. And the victims always kind of look the same, right? And the attackers always kind of look the same. But we are not supposed to notice the pattern, because if you notice the pattern, you're a bigot, you're a bad person. Well, I don't care about being a bigot or a bad person. You can consider me whatever I am. I'm someone that is tired of innocent women and kids being killed by brutes with no motive, and it's just at random. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of every day waking up to another story like this one. And folks, for every story like this one that I talk about on YouTube, there are 1,000 of them that I don't talk about. So it's not like I see a story like this one and I'm like, oh God, I need to hop on this and go talk about it on YouTube. No. In fact, it's the exact opposite. I see hundreds of stories like this one and I try to ignore it. I try to scroll past it. But eventually it just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up to the point where I'm like, yeah, well, I guess I'll talk about this one. I didn't talk about the other 250 white people that were killed by black people over the past couple of weeks. Let me just talk about this one. So understand, it's not like I am trying to dig and dig and dig and find these stories. No, they're all out there. And if anything, I'm ignoring them as they pile up on top of me. And I just randomly decide, well, I'll talk about this one, I guess. Because this story hits a little close to home for me. Like I said, I've been in this area. So this story definitely hits close to home for me. I know people who live in this area. And some people who live in this area were under the impression that things like this don't happen there. Yes, they do. And that's another thing that people need to get over. All of, oh, this isn't going to happen here. They better not bring that here. They are, and it will happen in your hometown. It will happen in your city. It will happen in your neighborhood. It will happen at your kid's school. It's only a matter of time. But for now, you guys let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.